me know when you've got them all in.
Everything is up.
Very good. Thank you.
And the recording is rolling. I'm going to be watching that. As a matter of fact, you see where the studio mic volume indicator is there in OBS.
Yes.
Okay. And notice that the little virtual slider, little white button, is at the top.
Mm-hmm.
If it starts auto adjusting, that thing is going to back down from the top.
You talking about mine or yours?
Yours.
Yeah.
The studio mic. As a matter of fact, give me a
thing right here.
Yeah, give me a line of lingo here, and let's check it out. I'm also gonna let me get to the sound settings.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Man, oh man, the complication.
See, it is auto adjusted, and you know what?
Yeah.
It has. It's taken it down to 20 from 50. So I think that it is somehow related to spaces. So I'm ixnaying spaces for today. Sorry if you're listening.
Okay.
And now I'm going to adjust it back up to 50.
Okay.
And now go ahead and talk, and let's see if that auto adjusts.
Test 1 2, test 1 2, it's 1 2 3 4. Perilous World Radio.
It appears to be holding firm at 50 there, so
cool.
I have properly identified the issue.
Properly identified.
Okay, so I'm going to figure out why that's taking place and fix it.
Cool.
So that we don't have to ixnay that.
Okay. All right. You want to get rid of the blather? Yep. Here it goes. Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
All right, Mike Jones. Thank you, sir.
You're
Appreciate it. Everything you do. Well, good morning, folks. All right. Just me today. My friend Brian Boteller is on his way to Kansas City or something to visit his grandkids. So God bless him. Safe travels, my friend. I'm going to start the show. Let's get it on the road here, so to speak. Here we go. Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Perilous World Radio. I'm Alan Masters. All right. So you think you are smart. Do you think you're smart? I mean, most of us think we're smart. Do you think you're smart? Really? Seriously? Most of us do. I mean, do you think you're dumb? I don't know. Maybe some people think they're dumb. I tend to find myself thinking I'm more dumb than smart. But I think most people think they're pretty smart. They think they've got things figured out pretty much. But they also know that some things they just can't figure out, so they just shelf it, put it on the shelf. I'll deal with that later. That's the people that are, I don't know, maybe intelligent enough to know that they don't know. But there are many people in this world, many, 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 many people. And I think it's probably the vast majority of human beings think they're pretty smart. They think they've figured everybody out. They look at people and they go, yeah, that guy, this, that, and the other. Oh, look at her. She, this, that, and the other. But I think we're so busy judging each other. We're so busy judging everything and listening to the monkey brain speaking to us that we don't have any quietness. We don't have any calmness. We don't have any time for God to speak to us or even hear him, because he's not going to yell past the noise of your head. So I said something to a friend the other day and I was like, wow, that was pretty smart. Because it was just, well, I'll just tell you what it was. So as we listen, well, let me just back up. Let me just make sure I get this right. as we live our lives and we're listening to our choices in our head and we're making choices and we're making judgments and we're living our lives and all these things, we're making choices throughout our lives every day. You're buying cars and buying houses and buying clothing and buying things and, all these choices that you're making, getting in relationships and getting angry at politics, getting angry at whatever your children things are doing or whatever it is. All these choices you're making throughout your day, every week, every month, every year, every decade. And all of a sudden, your life has been going along and you started, I don't know, maybe you started getting ahead of all the things because you just work. And maybe your house became worth more money and you decided to sell it and buy a smaller place. And then all of a sudden now you have money and you're starting to go, hey, this is kind of nice. Or maybe not, but everybody's situation is different. But what happens is, because of all of our lives and all of the decisions of our lives and the choices that we've made, because isn't life, it's constant choices. You got to choose between good and evil. You have to decide. My dad used to say, don't decide. When you've decided, it's like making a judgment. This is my decision. I'm sticking to it. Just don't decide. It's like just saying, I don't know. But when I know, I'll know. But right now, I don't know, so I'm not going to decide. But a lot of these choices that we've made in our lives have put us in a situation where we now are like feeling kind of okay about it. I'm trying to get to some place here because it's kind of hard to get to where I was going in order to say this smart thing I said, which was consequences. So for all the choices we make and all the decisions we make, there's consequences for them. Sometimes the consequences are good. You made a wise choice. And if I can say it like that, and because you were wise and because you did the right thing and you did your research and you followed the Holy Spirit, there's a kind of a positive consequence where you made a profit or, and maybe the consequence word is the wrong vernacular for it. But for the most part, the consequences of our life's choices are not usually good. It's like, well, why is that happening? And why is this happening? And wow, why did that just happen? And what I said to somebody, because, my sister passed away, another friend's wife passed away, another guy tells me his best friend passed away. When you start talking about somebody passing away, everybody's going to tell you, oh, my brother just died. I have another guy, he says, my brother, my cousin just died. And, it's like, man, all these people are dying all over the place. And so I said to this guy, I said, all of these choices in our life and the consequences thereof are the echo of your life's choices bouncing back at you. I thought that was pretty astute because if you think about an echo, you go, hello, 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 and you hear it a couple of times. And most of the time people just go, hello. They don't want to hear the echo because hello's nothing. But when you're nasty and mean, and you say, you SOB, whatever it is, and then you say, SOB, 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 and you have to hear it a few times, all of a sudden you go, oh, geez, I wish I wouldn't have said that. But what happens is, because of our life's choices, because of all the stupid things we've done in our life, the echo of our life choices is now bouncing back at us. You look at the country the way it's going right now. We're experiencing the echo of sinful living, of disobedient to God living. It's the echo bouncing back at us, and we're hearing it, we're seeing it, and it's like, wow. And we're paying the price, the consequence. The echo is a consequence. It's actually, it's like, how do I say it? An echo is a sound that bounces back. But a consequence is a consequence of poor choices, sinful and disobedient living. And its consequence coming back at you in a negative way. And so we look at this world and it's like, oh my God, look what's going on in Minnesota. This crazy, crazy woman is yelling at the ICE agents. They're doing their job. They're trying to clean up that mess over there. There's messes everywhere. But they're doing their, and she's over there yelling at him, and then she tries to run one over, and she gets shot in the head. And everybody's mad because she tried to run some people over. And when you try and run over a cop, he gonna shoot you. The consequence of her stupidity is that she's no longer alive. You can try and blame the cop or the ICE agent, or which is a cop, I guess. You can try and blame him for pulling the trigger, but she tried to run him over. Poor choice. And the family could say, well, she was scared. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. Shouldn't have been over. She should have. Well, you know what I'm saying. Wrong place, wrong time, open mouth, try and run people over to get away. How is that right? How is that okay that she tried to run people over to escape? What's that called? You know, running from cops. That's a felony right there. Cops are trying to open her door to get her out, and because they're telling her, pull over, get out of your car. And she's trying to run people over, and she got shot, and they're mad? It's the consequence of stupidity. We all have these consequences. Some of them are like instantaneous, like that lady. And some of them take years to bounce back. It is simply an echo. It's a consequence echo. Even better. I wrote it down. The echo of your life choices bouncing back. The consequence is the echo bouncing back for your life choices. So what do you say? I mean, really, it makes more sense to be wise in life, doesn't it? But how many times do we have to be smacked in the face by our own consequential echo before we look at it and go, man, my life's falling apart. I can put on a good show for everybody. I can dress up and put lipstick on or whatever if you're a woman. And if you're a guy, you can, grow a cool looking beard and have it trimmed just right and make sure you look cool. But you're falling apart inside. All right, we'll take a little break. It's Perilous World Radio. Alan Masters here talking about the consequential echoes. You put bad out into the world. You be dishonest. You be deceitful, which is dishonest. You be cruel and unusual to your family and friends or just people in general. Oh, it's funny. I'm doing some work for an unnamed, I'm going to try and be as vague as possible because I just feel like it's smart to do. But there's a person in my life that is so angry at everything, and they joke about it. It's like they wear the anger with a badge of honor. It's like, I'm just angry at the world. The world doesn't, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is, it's always something. Person is always angry, always pissed off. And oddly enough, imagine this. This will be a funny one for you. Imagine if, and since it's all hypothetical anyway, imagine Santa Claus. You see Santa Claus and he's always, got the nice face and the smile and the rosy red cheeks and his white beard and his red satanic outfit on, his red Santa Claus outfit. But imagine the elves' point of view when he is being impatient with them because Christmas is coming. You guys better work harder because we're going to be late for Christmas and I've got to deliver to the whole world. The elves' point of view of Santa Claus is he's not that nice of a jolly of a guy, is he? Because you don't see him. He's getting in the chimney and trying to go down the chimney, and he's fat and he's stuck, and he's like, damn this chimney, and he breaks it open, but he gets the presents in there, and then they're like, that's okay, Santa Claus busted the chimney, but it's because he's jolly and fat. But then he got back out to the car where the elves were there, to the sleigh where the elves were there. And he's like, you guys made the presents too big, and I couldn't get the big bag down the chimney, and it broke. Everybody has a side of them that they don't show the world. But you know who sees it? Their family. Their family knows. And I have a person that is like Santa Claus, that is so angry and, oh my God, full of piss and vinegar behind the scenes. And then as soon as somebody walks into the business, oh, good morning. How's your day going? Would you like this or that or the other? And then back behind the scenes, what do you think the echo of that consequence is going to be like? Well, I'll tell you. And I just happened to say to this person the other day, I was like, they had to go and get a heart something done. I don't know, something. It took days at the hospital, and this person is back, and it's like, oh, I just don't feel good. I don't feel good. Oh, and I said, well, maybe you should go see your doctor. I can't get into my doctor on the 27th. I'm like, whoa. Well, there you go. The flamethrower at me. I said, maybe you should go see your doctor. Flamethrower came out as if I was the one keeping them from going to their doctor because the doctor didn't have an opening until the 27th, whatever. I could die until all this. It was like, oh my God. So I was like, okay, all righty then. Well, that's interesting. You got heart problems, and you are revving your engine to the red line. For car guys, you know what that means. You are revving the engine all the way to the top. What's going to happen? It's going to blow. The consequence of your anger and your judgment of the world, of the situation, or whatever it is death. That's what's coming to this person if they don't calm down. So that hit me. So the person had to sit down. I got to sit down. I can't take it. There's too much pressure. Too much pressure on me right now. Too much stress. Sit down. So I'm doing my thing. I'm working along, and I come back and I said, forgive me for taking liberties with our relationship, but if you don't calm down, you're going to die. I said, because calm is the answer to your problem right now. And getting worked up is only going to cause an early demise. And so one of the employees of Santa Claus happened to be standing right there when I said that to dear old Santa. And the eyeballs got huge, like, you didn't just say that. Santa's going to slay you. And you know what the person said to me? I know, but I have so much, there's so many things on my shoulders, so many decisions. I said, calm. They will all be made, or not. But if you're dead, it ain't going to matter, is it? Just calm down. And the other person, the elf, was standing there just kind of like, I can't believe that somebody's saying that to Santa. You know what? Why not? I first thought, you're going to die. My thought, you're going to die. This is going to kill you. This little thing that's going on, we'll call it Christmas. This little thing that's going on that you know every day that Christmas is coming. You got to do these things, and elves got to do all their work. But somehow we haven't learned that no matter what, whatever's going to be is going to be. What is that song? Que sera, sera? Whatever's going to be is going to be. Like, I give you an example. Right before the show, my cows all got out. And this is funny. They haven't gotten out in, 6 months. I got them in this. My field is got chain link fence, and then it's got steel panels. You can't get out, but they found their way out. These are like escapees from Alcatraz. They will find a way out. They'll climb between the walls where the sewer lines go, like you saw in some of these old movies, where somehow they figure a way out. I think my bull is 2,000 pounds. A 2,000-pound cow going under a chain link fence. And it's like if we could only get that on video, I could probably be a millionaire. People would watch that all day long. Cows will find their way out. But I got to go be on the radio. What am I supposed to do? So I have two guys that are not cow guys. I go, you guys, you got to go over and get my cows back in there in the neighbor's big old field, which is open to the road, and they can walk out on the road and get hit by a car and somebody could get hurt. So it's a big liability. So these two guys are like, I'll go. And I called a few other people. I go, hey, can you help? You know what's funny is, I said, I can't come because I got to do my radio show. And so everybody jumped together, and I just got a text a few minutes ago, the cows are back in. But whatever's going to be is going to be. I got to make a choice. I can either put a tape on the show or I can come do the show. I decided to come do the show. Whatever's going to be is going to be. We'll be right back. Alan Masters here, talking about life and the consequences and the echo of our lives that bounces back at us. Kind of like, is it sonar? Yeah, I guess it's sonar. Sonar works like this. It goes boom, and it sends out a signal. And then the signal hits something, and it bounces back. And the time it takes for it to bounce back tells the person, whoever's working the sonar machine, how far away the thing is. And I guess sonar is so good now, it's like ultrasound, where they can actually see what things look like through bouncing a noise out and have it bounce back. And what I'm trying to say here is that our lives, when things start going wrong in our lives, it's because some of our past life is bouncing back at us, and it's giving us, believe it or not, now, here's the good part. It's giving us a chance to deal with it in a righteous way instead of just going, oh, I don't care. And that's the good side of it is maybe when it bounces back, you can look at it and go, why is this happening? I kind of know why it's happening because I was a jerk to my wife, my kids, whatever it is, the employees. There's always a reason. So, thank you, Catherine. That is delicious mint tea, by the way. So I look at life and people. Then here comes, I said earlier in the show, you think you're smart. So we look at the echo of our lives that's bouncing back at us, the consequences of a bad life, of a poorly, and it's not even, I'll take that word back. It's not even a bad life. It's just a life of poor decisions, poor choices. You can look at, I see a few of your names up there. You've been married once or twice or three times, and poor choices. You made a choice emotionally. You let your emotions run away with you. And sometimes we do that. Some people do it with husbands and wives, and some people do it with cars or boats or houses. Poor choices. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, some of them have a lifetime of echoes bouncing back and forth because you have children with these people, and then you're tied to those people for the rest of your life. And then, oh my God, all the stuff that you have to deal with. So it's much better. And my dad's meditation exercise, Be Still and Know, is supposed to help people to be centered, to be calm, to make better choices in their life. And I believe this is why people to this very day, 4-5 years later, after my father's passed away, coming up 5 years this year, they're still making donations to the foundation because they got woken up from pain and suffering, and they're able to experience joy and happiness from just the right conversation. Just the little bit of truth that my dad brought into their life and then gave them this tool with the meditation exercise to be able to help get back into the driver's seat, so to speak, instead of finding yourself, hey, who's driving the car? And nobody. The car's just, going down the road, nobody behind the wheel. No wonder you're bouncing off the trees and the guardrails and things in life. You gotta steer your life in the right direction, and it has to be purposeful. You can't just willy-nilly through life. I mean, you're already willy-nillying through life anyway. That's just how it is. You just have to wait until things come at you. But it's nice to steer around some of the obstacles through wisdom, through insight and understanding and vision. And you steer around some of these things. So I look at people that think that they know what's going on. Once again, they think that this consequence is somebody else's fault. It's not my fault at all. It's your fault. It's his fault. It's their fault. It's the government's fault. It's the city manager's fault. It's the what do they call that? When you're in a housing tract and they have HOA. It's the HOA guy's fault. It's the neighbor's fault. My cow's getting out. It's like it's the cow's fault. No, it's just things that happen sometimes. But if you're busy blaming everybody, it's the guy who put the fence up. He didn't put a strong enough bottom line on the fence, and so the cows went through it too easily. It's his fault. It's like you can blame anybody all the time, any time of the day. You can always find somebody to blame. What good does blame do? Blame means you don't really want to deal with what just happened, the consequence, whatever it was that hit you. But if you live an honest life, if you live a life of humility, you take a look at things that happen and you go, wow, man, that's really bad. That sucks. What caused that? And you say, but you don't look, you don't just automatically blame people. You can say, well, I could see these people over here had a little part of this, but you really need to take a look at what you have done in your life. And a lot of times, if you're really honest, if you really truly want to be honest, you'll know. Because if you ask, what does it say? Ask and you shall receive. So the first thing we need to ask is, where have I gone wrong? Because then you can take a look at where you've gone wrong and you can say, oh my God, and look at the ripple effect that is eventually going to bounce back. Because you know what a tsunami is, right? It's the ripple effect that goes through the ocean because there's a boom, there's an earthquake under the water, whatever. And then it ripples out. And those ripples move and move, and they go for hundreds of miles, maybe thousands of miles. And they go up tsunami warning because there was an earthquake all the way over in Japan on the coast of Oregon and California. You're going to get hit with a giant wave, which was just a little ripple in the beginning. And it rippled and it kept growing and it grows and it gains momentum, kind of like a snowball. The same thing with a snowball. You roll the snowball from the top of the hill. By the time it's at the bottom, it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and it's going to gather momentum. And then you get hit with a snowball. You get hit with a tsunami. You get hit with the echo of consequence for the life, the earthquake that happened a long time ago and far, far away. Yeah, and we don't want to really admit it. We don't want to take ownership of it. Oh, boy. Because I look at my own life with my children and my employees or people that I've had work for me. And I whenever I see an attitude, the first thing I think is, now at this stage of my life, by the way, this is not the way it used to be, but at this point in my life, I go, can I do anything to neutralize this tsunami, this ripple effect that's happening? Can I look at the person and say, did I do something? Am I at fault here for your attitude towards me. And that kind of neutralizes. It's like, as soon as a person doesn't feel you being defensive and going, well, you're a jerk. As soon as that happens, now I'm not saying I do it perfectly, because it is something that is it's just something that you have to like work on, put it that way. But I'm getting better at it, and the more I get better at it, the more I look at it and go, wow, that really had a profound effect on that person. So my ability to look at my own self and love the other person enough to go, well, I don't know why did that happen? Hold on. Why did this happen? Did I do something that you've been carrying for a while that you're mad at me about? Because that's not like your character. And we just need to talk about that. And all of a sudden, well, yeah, you did. And then, well, while you're in that calm space, guess what? Now is the opportunity that person you have asked, and maybe you're going to receive the ripple effect of something you did the day before, a week before, a month before, whatever it is. It's going to come back at you like that tsunami, or like the consequence echo is going to hit you in the face. And then what do you do with it? That's really the question, is what do you do with it when you catch yourself going, I am either going to fire this person, I'm going to punch this person, excuse me, whatever the situation is, because maybe it's not an employee, maybe it's a coworker, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you ask the question, did I do something? And then here comes the wave of, you're damn right you did. Maybe you didn't even realize it. Maybe you were just being thoughtless and you were rude. And I see this all the time, because if you're watching two people interact, and I saw this the other day, one person made a ethnic slur to another person, and the other person actually is always smiling and always happy. And this other person thought, well, this is just how guys are. Guys like to diss each other. You know, so the one guy who's kind of a cowboy made an ethnic slur to another guy who's got brown skin, and the brown skin guy did not like it. And the white guy just was being a typical cowboy jackass that he was being, which he knows he's that way. And the guy who the cowboy thought he could take it, that was the last straw that broke the camel's back. And I saw my friend that has dark skin. He's not black. He's just brown, Polynesian or something. I saw him turn into a angry, hateful Santa Claus. Usually it's Santa Claus. Hey, good morning. How's it going? And now it's Satan Claus. And wow, because I was a third party, I could watch the whole thing. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, Alan Masters here. Foundation of Human Understanding, FHU.com. Nonprofit organization. We run on your donation. So thank you guys. Catherine shows me the little bits and pieces of money that comes in here and there, and it's nice. Keeps it all going. And really barely, just so you know. So for what it's worth, 2026 is going to be the struggle of our life. I'll just say that. It's going to be the struggle of the Foundation of Human Understanding's life, because the world has changed. Technology has changed. The way people gather information has changed. You have what's that, Grok or Chat GPT, where you don't have to do much thinking for your own self. You just want to know what Jesus Christ would say. Just ask your phone. You don't have to ask your preacher. You don't have to ask the Bible. You just ask your phone. This little sucker right here, this phone, is the new savior. Isn't that weird? Anyway, I had an argument with one of my brothers the other night about something stupid, and he sent me this big old long text, and I took his text and I dropped it into Chat GPT, and I said, do me a favor and give me an answer to this text that has both legal and spiritual implications. And that was all I said. I just thought, I'm going to see what it does. It gave this brilliant thing back, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. There was like a response. And I looked at it and I went, there's no way on God's green earth any human being would answer like this. There's no way on earth, but it's brilliant. It's got legalese in it. It's got Bible quotes in it, and it's got decency, the underpinnings of, and I say this in prayer, and it was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, no one talks like that. There is no person that would ever say that. But I put it in the response and I sent it to him. And he says, who the hell wrote this? And I said, the same people that wrote yours. And he goes, I don't use that at all. It comes straight from my heart. I said, oh yeah? Well, that came straight from Grok's heart. Anyway, yeah, it's a whole nother world out there. And it's kind of fun, It's like when you go to the snow and you haven't skied or snowboarded or whatever it is, and you're like trying to learn how to ski, and that didn't work. A snowboard, that didn't work. Maybe I'll just get on an inner tube, and that works until you run into 25 people coming down the hill. Anyway, this whole world that we're in right now is such a whole new, what they call, I guess, brave new world. Not very brave for most people, cowardly new world. But anyway, the world has changed, and it's harder and harder for nonprofit organizations to make it. So all that to say, we appreciate your donations, and we appreciate you keeping our lights on and this show going to have discussions like this. But I will just say that as I age out, if I can say it like that, as I'm getting older, I'm more willing to listen to the Holy Spirit, because before it was just another voice. I don't know which one to listen to. It's, oh yes, you do. You just kind of, as my dad would say, cavalier about your own soul. Because, there's lots of tasty things in the world and lots of delicious things to see and smell and experience in life. And I know, Mr. Conscience, just back down. I'll deal with you later. Usually when we deal with our conscience or the consequences of life is when we're laying in the hospital, or when you're straining to go to the bathroom and you're like, please, Lord, just let me poop. It's just the funniest thing, because it is the argument of the body. All the organs had an argument which one was most important, and all the different organs were arguing, and it was a big argument, and the sphincter valve in the rear end decides to say, you know what, you guys are all arguing, I'm just going to stop working for a little while. And so because it couldn't go to the bathroom, the body didn't know what to do. Everything stopped working, really. And it was like, and they all agreed, okay, Mr. Rear End, you are the most important. And that's usually when we are laying there in the hospital, can't go to the bathroom or can't hardly, breathe, or indigestion. I had indigestion so bad last night. I was like, oh my God, what did I eat? I had a hamburger. I don't know. I must have had some other things that didn't agree. And I just had this indigestion. I was thinking, God, please don't let me die from an hamburger overdose. So when do we talk to God? When things are bad. We need to put God first. We need to put God first. And that's what most of us don't do. We just wait until things get tough. Remember Yertle the Turtle? Wasn't it the cartoon? Help, Mr. Wizard. Help, Mr. Wizard. It was always, that's when we want God to help us. Not Lord, help me to have the life you want me to have. Help me to find peace and joy and happiness. Help me to have understanding. Help me to have wisdom so that I can help others on the journey of life. That's my constant consciousness of, and then something will happen. And I'll like the lady that was having the heart problems. And I said, you need to calm down. And you know what? Kind of get back to that. The rest of the day, she was as calm and kind and nice, but she was so worked up, she forgot herself. She completely forgot that all the elves were watching Santa Claus come unglued, and they're all in, at some point, not in disbelief anymore, just bearing it. Yep. Your family knows the real you. All right, there's another hour to go, and I'll be right back. Stay with us. Time for a drink of my tea. You know that with a microphone right next to your mouth, when you take a drink, you hear everything. I guess I should turn off the mic when I do that. Here we go. All right, hour 2 of the show, Perilous World Radio. Thank you for joining us. Today I've been talking about the echo of your life choices bouncing back, the consequences bouncing back. I don't want to overdo that, because if you heard the first hour, you heard that. But I realized that, and I asked the question way in the beginning, at the very first couple of minutes, I said, most of us think we're smart. And most of my life, I thought that I was kind of not very smart. So I would ask my dad, or I would ask the guy who I thought knew the answer. And you know who the guy is who knows the answer now? It's this phone. The guy that has the answer to whatever you want is the phone. When I was young, if I needed to work on a carburetor on a car, I would have to go to the guy that was the carburetor guy, the carburetor king, the guy that rebuilds carburetors for a living. And I would maybe take my car over to the guy and I would say, can you come out and listen to my car and tell me what it is? And he goes, well, does it have this? Does it have that? No, it doesn't have this. No, it doesn't have that. Because that sound could be a racing cam and all kinds of different things. But when the guy who knows carburetors comes out, he looks at the tailpipe and he goes, you see that black smoke coming out? And I go, yeah. He goes, it's running way too rich. So you're going to have to find the little screw that you screw in and you make it run more lean. And that way it'll run clean and it won't run and foul out your spark plug. And it was like all these cascading things that happened because one screw was out too far, allowing it to run too much fuel in the carburetor. But I remember thinking to myself, oh, that guy is so smart. He's so smart. Today, you don't have to go to any guy. You go to the phone and you ask the phone and you watch 10 videos of 10 guys like him that have had the same problem. The world has changed. There's no personal interaction the way it used to be. When I needed something from somebody, some information, I had to go to a man or a woman. I had to go to somebody, and I had to go to them humbly, or they would say, get away from me, kid, I'm busy. But if you went to them with a nice attitude and a grateful heart, and you pleaded your problem, look, I don't have a lot of money, but would you just listen to this problem? Because these people that are good at these things, they can listen to something. They don't even know. I heard you drive up. Yeah. That thing's running way too rich. I can hear it chugging up the road. And we're just talking about cars, but when somebody is keenly aware, they could pick up on the problems before you even ask for it. It's like, and I'm seeing this in my mind, because often I would go to a mechanic shop or something, I'd pull in, and the guy's, under a car putting a part on a transmission, and I pull up right into the garage door opening, and I want to ask him something about my car. He's already heard the car. He's already analyzed what it probably is. And he goes, hey, why don't you check, make sure that your coil wire is on all the way. Maybe it's misfiring, or maybe the spark plug wires aren't plugged in all the way. I could hear something going tick, 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 tick. So maybe the spark plug wire's arcing across to the manifold. I mean, it's like I thought, oh my God, these guys are brilliant. But it was because that's what they do. They're analyzing mechanical things all the time. But where we can have the same brilliance is spiritually. Because, how do I say this? Because this machine that God gave us, it's like a tractor, it's a machine, it's like a car, is being controlled by the spirit that God gave us. The soul, the spirit. And if we don't know what to do sometimes, we can either try and deduce it like Sherlock Holmes, or we can go back to the manufacturer, which is God, and say, I don't understand this. God he's like, you think those mechanics, they know what they're doing are brilliant? God knew you before you were born, and he knew your parents before they were born, and everybody all the way back to the beginning of time, and he knows every diagnosis for everything, but we don't go to him. We go to the phone, the new God called Grok or ChatGPT or whatever it is. That's where we get our answers, not in the kingdom of heaven that dwells within. We don't do that. We go to external sources. And it's so easy now. Right there in your palm of your hand is the Bible Answer Man, is the pornography, or whatever it is between the porn and the Bible Answer Man, everything in between, right in the palm of your hand. So you don't even have to ask God. You don't even have to wonder what God thinks, because you don't care. And then comes the ripple effect. That's right. Because you live your life, we live our lives, and we make foolish decisions, and then the consequences start to rain down on us. Why is this happening to me? And then you ask Grok, why is it happening to me? And Grok may even give you a pretty smart answer. Well, maybe it's because of things that you should have dealt with earlier in life before Grok was there for you. So, I don't know. I think human interaction is so special. A look, a smile. I got to tell you one quick story, because as I say these things, the reason why I'm able to talk kind of endlessly is because every bit of my life has a story connected to it. I was going into a building that I own on a side alley entrance where it can be dangerous, kind of a parking lot in the back and a side alley kind of going down the side, and it's the back corner entrance. And I'm standing there looking for the keys, and here comes a typical, I don't know, the word bum, it wants to come out of my mouth, so I'll just use it. Kind of a bum, a drunken bum, even better. A drunken bum, kind of walking along, kind of flopping along like they do, kind of a weird, dragging one foot like Frankenstein, or who was that? The Hunchback, that's what it was. And so I always look at these people right in the eye. Whenever I see somebody coming at me, coming to go down the alley to go behind me, I don't know if they got a knife and they're going to stab me in the back, take my wallet that's got $3 in it, and credit cards that are all full. Poor guy. Hey, I had my truck stolen the other day. My dump truck got stolen, and you know what? It only made it 4 blocks because it wouldn't come out of first gear. So the guy dropped it off and just pulled it over and got out of it and walked away. So yeah, they steal from me. They're going to be really bummed out because I don't carry cash. I got a few bucks on me at any given time, enough to buy a candy or a soda or something. That's about it. But anyway, this guy's coming at me. So I'm looking at my big wad of keys, and I look over at him, and he looks up at me out of his one crocodile eye. And he raises his eyebrow, and I said, "Good morning." And he says, "Morning. Thanks for the smile." And I just thought, I go, "You're welcome. Have a good day." I just thought to myself, you know what? Why not? Why not? I mean, okay, he looked like he was Hunchback of Notre Dame coming down the street, and he was kind of dirty, but you know what? You don't know what people are, what's happened in their lives. Maybe he was in the war and he had half his leg blown off or whatever. Maybe he wasn't dirty. Maybe he just wearing his favorite shirt that I'm wearing right now. Maybe he just had a limp. Maybe I was judging him, but I wasn't. I just saw him coming, and I thought, I'm going to just lay an eyeball on this guy. And when he kind of gave me the eyeball back, I said, "Good morning." And I smiled at him. And he thanked me for it. And it was a nice interchange. A human experience gone right instead of gone wrong. That's what you got to look for every day. We'll be right back. Alan Masters here, telling all my strange stories about life. I got to tell you, human interaction could be the most important part of life. Because when God made Adam, he made Adam in his own, basically he thought, God made us in his image, right? And there it was. There's Adam, probably as handsome as he could be. Tom Selleck, some big, strong, handsome guy, because you got to imagine God's not an ugly dude. Point is, and then God says, it's not good for man to be alone. So he created a woman, took a rib, created a woman out of Adam, not out of the dust. He created Adam out of the dust, and he created a woman out of Adam's rib. Out of Adam came the woman. But just thinking about, it's not good for man to be alone. So many people just kind of shun their eyes from the world. They don't interact. And I'm not saying, yes, somebody said Eve was a clone, but it's just a good thing that she wasn't a perfect clone, because she was a female and had different parts, right? Anyway, that's funny off the chat room. But I lost my train of thought there. See what happens if I read the chat room while I'm talking? But I guess my point was getting to something, is that we're not supposed to be alone. We're not supposed to shun our eyes. We're not supposed to just keep our mouth shut. The lady at the place that I said, you need to calm down. Calm down. Just need to calm down. Because all the anger and all the upsetness and all of the energy that is coming out isn't going to change anything, except it's going to make your life shorter. It's going to make your life shorter. So, if you want more life to live, to deal with these things that you are getting fret over, getting angry or frustrated or whatever, deal with it with calmness. And I'm not saying suppress the anger. You can be angry. You can be kind of angry at something that happened, like my cows got out. I'm angry now, the fence I have to repair. But I'm not that angry. It's like, we'll fix it. It is what it is. What are you going to do? What are you going to lose sleep over it? I'm not going to miss the show over it. I said to Mike Jones, I'm like, my cows just got out. He goes, what does that mean to me? I said, nothing. I said, my cows got out. I just have to deal with it. I'll be there in a few minutes. You just have to deal with things. But if you get angry at them, you have given away the vital essence of your life. That is life that you are expelling. The angry, the judgment, the fear, the anxiety. That's your life essence. Remember the Gelflings in Dark Crystal? Jim Henson's movie, The Dark Crystal, if you never saw it. They would catch the little, which looked like, they looked like little deer people. They were furry little people that had like a little deer face. And the Gelflings were like these vultures. And the dark crystal was used. They've got this huge crystal to extract the vital energy, the life essence out of the Gelflings, the little people. And this is what's going on in the world today. It's what's funny. They're extracting the life essence, getting everybody riled up to get the energies of the world up in, so that there's riots and raping and pillaging and all this going on. But what happened is that the Skeksis, the vulture creatures, would extract the vital energy out of the little Gelfling people, the little innocent people, and then it would get just a couple of drops, and you'd watch the little Gelfling, the little innocent creatures, wrinkle up, and they would get old, and they would release them so that they could rejuvenate again. But then they would take a few drops, and they would the Skeksis, the vultures, would drink the vital energy of it, of the Gelfling, and then their skin would unwrinkle. And that's like human vampirism. And that's what's going on in the world. People get you angry and they feel good about it. And you get angry and then you get an upset stomach, or you get sick, or you start getting immune deficiency syndrome things that you don't know why you're sick, because somebody is living off of that energy they're stealing from you. Come on, don't you see it in the world? I see myself getting angry at little things, and I look at it and go, nope, I'm not going to allow it. I refuse to allow my vital essence to be sucked out of me. I'm just not going to allow it. You can have it. You can have whatever it is we were arguing over. Not that I won't fight for what I believe is right, but I refuse to get angry over it, if nothing else. Or I'll put my foot down and I'll just simply say, this is how it's going to be. And if you don't like it, you can be angry, but you need to be angry somewhere else, because that's my final decision. You just have to be firm about what you believe. Look at Donald Trump. That's what he does. He's like, this is how we're going to do it. And if you break the rules, then you'll suffer the consequences. Back to the echo of your life's choices are the consequences of your life bouncing back on you. Don't blame anybody else. Anyway, but yes, somebody says Roy Masters, my dad. Roy Masters, Eve was cloned out of Adam. Yes. I get it. In other words, but that word, when you think of clone, it's like a perfect. It's a clone is the exact thing twice, where the woman is not the exact thing. She's the hand of God. The hand of God took a bit of Adam, and with the hand of God, like the potter's wheel and the pottery, he formed a woman so that part of her was of Adam, so that they were familiar, family. They were connected in some fashion. And it's the brilliance again of God, the absolute brilliance of God. Anyway, all right, when we come back, we're going to talk to Colonel Tony Monaco. And who's on today? Oh, Laird. Chap's going to be on. He was supposed to be here during the holidays, but things changed a little bit when my sister passed away. Thank you for all of the condolences that I've received from everybody to our family for the loss of our sister, my sister Diane Masters Linderman. And FHU.com is our website, FHU.com. Check it out. There's lots of books and teachings there that if you're struggling in your life, it's a great place to go. We'll be right back. Okay, let's find our Colonel, Tony Monaco. Let's see. Here we go. I think I can do this a little faster today than normal. I don't know why. Probably because Laird Chap is in my phone book.
Well, greetings there, young warriors.
Greetings. Are you ready?
You know, breaking the proud tradition for years really is wearing on me, doing it on Thursdays rather than Wednesdays.
Oh, that's too funny.
I'm sure you got thousands and thousands of people objecting from my fan club, right?
Well, you know what it is? I do a 6:30 in the morning group with a bunch of church guys, which is fun. And then I do an entrepreneur event. Is that Laird? How you doing, chap?
Yes, sir. Doing good. And I've been watching the show here for a little bit. Good topic.
Oh, good. Well, then weigh in at any time if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of flow off of your. There's consequences for choices.
That's right. I mean,
Yeah.
we should all know that. It's just my point, Tony, was at the start of the show. I said that the consequences of our life's choices are an echo that is bouncing back. You know, like kind of like the ripple effect or a tsunami. The earthquake happens in Japan or China or something, but the consequence of that earthquake comes all the way over and hits us here in America. And that's kind of like, and it takes a lot of time sometimes. It takes, hours and hours and hours and hours. And the wave is moving fast, but it still takes a long time. But here comes a wave. And when people get hit with their consequences of their life's choices, they're, oh, it's Japan. They had an earthquake. Well, they should have kept their own damn earthquake over at their side of the world. You know, everyone's always blaming everybody. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the thing about life, you have to realize, they did a survey a couple of decades ago, and 40% of scientists did not believe in God.
Oh, of course.
Excuse me, I said that wrong. 40% of scientists did believe in God.
So 60.
Today it's up to 60, and why? Because as they break down the atomic structures and the proteins and all this stuff, it is so complicated, so vast, that the odds of you being born are in the trillions to one.
Right.
Which goes back to God saying, I chose you to live, and I allow you to have that choice to live. And it's our choices that causes this rippling effects around the world, too.
That's right. Exactly right.
That's a whole show by itself.
I know, right? There you go. All right. Well, here we go.
Amen.
Let's do this, and we'll talk to you here in just 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right. Welcome back. It's time for our Patriot Outreach segment with Colonel Tony Monaco, patriotoutreach.org on the web. And our guest today is Chaplain Major Retired Laird Thompson. We call him Chap. And Tony, first of all, Happy New Year to both of you guys. But Tony, over to you for the topic for the day.
Well, appreciate it. Well, we're going to focus today on something that's critical and important. The Department of War, the Secretary, announced that he's going to make the Chaplain Corps great again.
Oh.
And a lot of people do not realize how significant that is, because the Chaplain Corps is our spiritual and moral backbone of our military and, by extension, our nation. Chaplains are combat multipliers who guide our commanders, our warriors, and their families to overcome life's challenges and making sound moral and right decisions with our shared and core principles.
Yeah.
So it is very important, and it leads to healthier, more fruitful, and ultimately to victory. What say you, Chap?
Yeah. Amen, sir. Amen. And Happy New Year.
Not that I'm talking to a chaplain, you know.
Right. Well, I was so happy to hear the December 16th video, which you can find on the Department of War's homepage with Pete Hegseth. Anybody can go and it's a 4-minute video where he talks about secular humanism has infiltrated the chaplain corps and turned chaplains into more of emotional support officers or therapists versus the spiritual leaders, the prophetic spiritual leaders in many cases, of which they are. And so we have to have chaplains who are filled with the Spirit of the living God to help lead commanders, leaders, and warriors and their families closer to God. I heard just a little while ago on the show that there's consequences for choices, and that is never more true for the military. There's consequences. And if we just look at if we're students of history and we look at the Old Testament on how did it go for the nation of Israel and the tribes of Israel when they disobeyed God and they forsook God, it didn't go well, did it, Alan?
No, it didn't. No, neither does it for us.
Yeah, they were defeated. And I tell you, not being in the military any longer, I still pray for our nation. I pray for the military, and I pray for our spiritual leaders and commanders that they would reestablish and/or kind of repent, like Pete Hegseth is doing. Is he's turning the chaplain corps back to God, not secular humanism.
Isn't that great?
When we get God back in the right place, when we confess our sins, then God's going to have mercy and protect us and have blessing. But if we do not, if we forsake God in our nation, we should not expect God to protect us. We should not expect God to bless us or to help us to be victorious in battles. So this is an important topic for me as a chaplain and really for parents when your sons and daughters are out there serving.
I will tell you, I was dealing with a situation the other day, and a person was giving me all this information, and it was, I've studied this, I know this, and this is what's going to happen, and that's what's going to happen, and if this doesn't happen, that's going to happen, and I said, well, wait, whoa, hold on a sec. You have not made any room for God in your equation. You haven't said anything about God. I said, where is the God principle here? Which God can change anything. There were people in the Bible that were, not eaten by the lions and not burned by the fire. Yeah. Where was the scientists, that were scratching their head going, well, that's impossible. No. All things are possible with God. And so when this person was giving me all these outcomes that were going to happen, I said, you know what? What I'm going to do is we're going to make sure that we add God into this through the fact that we're going to ask God to guide us forward. We're not just going to take all this information that's been handed to us and make a decision without saying, Lord, give me wisdom. Show me the way. I will wait. We will pause for that. And people just don't do that anymore. They're like under pressure, and they get angry, and then they make an angry choice. And then the consequence of that angry choice comes at them, and then they blame somebody. They blame God. Where were you? You could have changed this, God. Why did you let this happen? God's just sitting back going, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like judgment starts in the house of God, the word says. So when we are turning to God, we need to evaluate ourselves and our own actions. And for the military, this is critically important as we face some significant challenges in the world with China and Russia, Iran, North Korea, Venezuela. There are some serious military threats globally. And so for our military to be right with God so that they can then have the blessings and the wisdom and the protection of God. one man of wisdom, one godly warrior, it says, is like it can take on 10 warriors at a time. He's like a warrior who's up in a walled city, the word says. And so when we have a chaplaincy that is moral, that when we retake that spiritual high ground, an authority with the living God, then we're able to then speak into our lives of the leaders and the soldiers, their families, to really connect with the real power of the universe versus that secular humanism which says that you're the answer to your problems. It's all internal of you. Just you figure it out and get some self-help books, and life will be okay for you. That is a lie that creates a moral relativism for people to have their own truth, and that's just not what God teaches in His Word.
Let me jump in here, because over the internet just recently, and I mean within the last week, it was a segment about miracles that nobody knows about, the scientific miracle that no one can explain. And there was a chapel with 5 Jesuit priests in it. They were praying the rosary. Blocks away, ground zero, is the first atomic bomb goes off. And there's a picture of that chapel undisturbed, and the occupants uncontaminated and live normal lives afterwards.
There you go. Perfect.
And the reason that was blasted around, this is scientific evidence that the power of prayer was working, because nobody could explain why that structure did not implode.
Yeah.
We're talking blocks away from ground zero, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I think that as we mature in our life, we start to shed the worldly skin, and something beautiful emerges from what once was a worldly man or woman. There's like a new spirit, a new desire, a new soul, almost like a new soul, but maybe it's just revealing the true soul, probably a better way of saying it. And I feel that happening in my life, and I'm so grateful. And what I'm even more grateful for, believe it or not, is the patience that comes with it for others that follow me, if I can say it like that. In other words, not follow me like a follower, but people in the next person in line is a better way of saying it. It's like, okay, something, I just shed an old snake skin, and underneath is not a snake anymore. And I turned to the guy behind me and I'm like, did you see that? Did no, what are you talking about? Well, it's going to happen. Just keep the faith. Just keep going. Just keep moving towards God. Somebody in here said something. It was, hold on. I want to just read this because it was a nice quote, and we all know it. Hold on. Where is it? Oh my gosh, there's too many comments. I can't find it. Anyway, go ahead, Tony.
One of the things that people forget and people realize, it says, trust in God. And a lot of people echo and say the words, but don't know what it really means. One day, years back, when I was praying, I was in the car driving, and I was getting impatient because somebody pulled out in front of me. And a little voice popped into my head saying, Tony, do you know why you're impatient? And I go, huh? He says, or it said, it's because you think it's your time you're wasting, not God's time. And once you realize it's God's time, your impatience fades away.
Yeah. Here, I found it.
Because you're just blessed to be alive.
I found it. This one is it's so beautiful. I just wanted to read it. It says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. It didn't just stop with love the Lord with everything you got. He actually put it all into words to where what's left? It's like, get behind me, Satan. I'm going to love God with everything that I am. And that way there is no tempting away from God.
That's right.
Yep. Well,
That's
gosh.
right. You quoted the greatest commandment. Jesus said that's the greatest commandment.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I have got a commercial break coming up. I got to take a break, but I'm so glad. I'm sorry, Chap, we weren't able to get together over the holidays. But as you know, my sister passed away, and it was just things didn't work out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it will in the future. And Alan, I'd just like to say that the little that I've known you here the last year plus or so, I have seen some growth in you in the sense that you said the new spirit and new soul. And I just keep on growing in God. You're doing great things.
Thanks, Chap. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. God bless you both. PatriotOutreach.org. If you want to help support Patriot Outreach, it's greatly important and appreciated. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Chap. Be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye. Yep. All right. Good boys. Good boys. All right. Coming back. Last segment of the show today, Perilous World Radio. What more can you say about life than what I think somebody that love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. Whew. That's everything, isn't it? No, it's not. It leaves all of the sinful nature out. Doesn't say, all kinds of other things that could be added to that. It just says the most important things. With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. Then, when something crawls up your arm, like a little while ago, I was sitting here and a spider kind of went, and I looked at the spider and I kind of just took my finger and went, blink, and I flicked him away. And that's sin. When you're busy loving on God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength, and sin comes creeping up your arm like a little spider, you just go, bink, because you are completely focused. It's like Jesus said to Peter, come to me. Stay focused on me. And Peter walked on water until he looked down and doubted himself. I can't do this. A bunk. And he went into the water. Splash. If we could just keep focused, which we can't. So we don't. And then we give up. But actually, that's a lie. Because you can. God doesn't ask you to do things you can't do. Satan tells you can't do. It seems difficult to the carnal man. It seems very difficult but I need some coffee and some Danish right now. I'm really hungry and thirsty. And can I just put God off to the side for a minute? Well, sure. Okay. It doesn't say, one thing it does say is love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. But you still got to work. You still got to go out and farm, or you got to be the accountant. It doesn't say to become a monk and just sit there and, that's not what God wants for us. He just wants when we are touched by him to acknowledge it. God touches your heart all the time. I told the story about the bum walking by with the bum leg and the crocodile eye. God touched my heart, and I didn't even have to think anything. Good morning. I treated the man like he was a businessman. I smiled at him and said, good morning. And he thanked me for that, because he probably always just either gets nothing said at all, like people are afraid I'm not going to interact with that guy. He may ask me for money. If people ask me for money, I look them over once or twice. God, should I help this person? Maybe I say, are you hungry? Let's go over and have a cup of coffee. I'll buy you a hamburger. I'm kind of hungry. They'll usually say, oh, no, I don't. They want money so they can buy drugs sometimes. Sometimes they're legitimately hungry. But I usually will say to them, are you willing to change your life? Because you obviously can't want to live like this forever. What are you looking for in life? How can I help you? Is giving you money going to help you right now? Or are you just going to buy a bottle of beer? Never mind. They usually, if you have the courage to communicate with these people, you'll find that they will want to have nothing to do with you. Go to hell. Actually, one guy walked up to me one time and said, hey, you got $10? And I'm like, you know what? I do have $10. And I do need some help moving some furniture over here. You want to help me move some furniture? I'll pay you $10. No, I don't want to help move furniture. I just need some money. I go, well, I got some money if you want to earn it, but I'm not going to give it to you, but I'll let you earn it. It'll only take us a little bit of time. I just need extra set of hands to lift up a couch, move it into my truck. F you. Well, there you go. Didn't have to spend the $10. Didn't even really need to move the furniture anyway, but you'll find out real soon that they don't want to have anything to do with you if you actually don't mind giving them a little bit of your attention. But you have to use discernment. You know, I saw somebody said that earlier today. You have to use the God-given gift of the Holy Spirit, the navigator of life, of your life, day in and day out, that Holy Spirit that will tell you, nope, this is not one to help. Or it'll allow, the door will be open. Ask a question. But you know what? Got to be careful in this world, especially ladies. But the men, it's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun little journey to be able to interact with people. There was one bum sitting on the curb, had 2 or 3 bottles of beer sitting next to him. And I said, are you going to throw those bottles away, or are you going to leave them like the last time? Because I have this alley. And he goes, oh, no, I'll throw them away. I said, would you mind doing it right now? I said, because I don't want to have to pick them up. And I just, if you know, are you done with them? Let's throw them away. Here, give me one. I'll throw it away. You hand it to me and I'll throw it away. And he said, oh, no, I'll do it. And he gets up and he throws the stuff away and he walks away. But I just treat them like they're my kids, you know? All right, you done with that? Let's throw it away. So it really has to do with that spirit. The spirit of love is either in your heart, and what's on your lung is on your tongue. And if your spirit of judgment, what's on your lung is on your tongue. Spirit of anger, what's on your lung is on your tongue. Spirit of jealousy, of lust, whatever it is, what's on your lung is on your tongue. Be careful what comes out of your mouth. Watch it. Watch those swear words. They're telling you what's on the inside. All right, kids. Class over. There's always tomorrow. David will be here. And I'll be back next week. Same time, same channel. It's Perilous World Radio. FHU.com is our website. Thanks for being a part of our show. See you next time. All right. I know not everybody can be a weirdo, crazy guy like me, but it's kind of fun. Let's see here. What are we turning off? We didn't do spaces today, so we'll say goodbye to the folks at YouTube.